everybody, and welcome to the Aggieville Alleycats podcast, where come rain, shine, or anything in between, we're delivered to you the Kansas State sporting news that you so love. I'm Ace Edwards, right alongside
Connor Baltazar.
And welcome to the return of the weekly recap, where last week we were attending a friend's wedding. Yes, both of us were attending the same friend's wedding. Actually, it was a rehearsal on Thursday, but, still had to be there. So, and honestly, that works out because this makes it where the recap is going to be longer than 15 minutes. So we can just go ahead and dive straight into the Soccer Cats, who had one icky, stinky, bad result and then one actually pretty decent result. The icky, stinky, bad result is this soccer match of the Sunflower Showdown, where they end up falling to KU, who's actually ranked, which I remember when they were fighting with us for the basement a few years ago. But they're actually ranked this year, and they ended up beating K-State 4-1. Not the result you want, especially with the shot disparity. 20 for KU, 10 on goal, 7 for K-State, 4 on goal. You're not going to win many matches that way. And other than it being tied and us getting the first goal, so basically we really did win. But it was tied after 32 minutes, and then KU just kind of ran away with it. 2 goals in the second period. And, it's still – the talent disparity with the program is still there. It's just that we also don't have the talent disparity and a coaching disparity now.
Yeah. One thing I will say about this match against KU is – that there was a point in this game, and Ace, I know you were kind of saying it ironically with how we basically won because we got the first goal, but K-State absolutely dominated the first 10 to 15 minutes of this and probably should have scored 3 goals in that series of time, but they weren't able to capitalize, and KU just completely flipped the momentum. But this is still losing 4-1's just objectively bad result, but the process was there early, and K-State was getting early and often shots against a very good soccer team, and that's just not something that we've really seen in the past. It's mostly been cross your fingers and pray that we can hang around with them, but we were manufacturing stuff early in this match, and that was encouraging. And never happy with the loss, but the performance at the beginning was encouraging, and I'm hoping it's a kind of a glimmer of maybe the type of stuff we can see in the future from this soccer team. But it's difficult to glean from the information available because we were dominated in shots on goal. We were dominated in corners. But those early aughts of the game, K-State belonged, and then it really just snowballed out of control.
Which I will take the improvement of looking like we belong. And I know that whenever we talk about this soccer program, it kind of seems like everything we say is a backhanded compliment, and I don't mean it to be. It's just it's an abject reality that this is a program that still needs to grow. So just witnessing any sort of that growth after years of, let's face it, stagnation under a coach, and in the first year of a new head coaching era, you kind of have to look back on previous years that weren't very good in order to sort of have an appreciation for the fact that, yes, K-State is improving, and thank God they are.
Yeah, it's been a rough go of things for K-State soccer. And I know that, those first 10 years, there was a lot of talk about how hard it is to build a program. But I think, Ace, you're right that we really hadn't done a lot of program building the last probably 4 or 5 years. We really kind of had plateaued, particularly after the Brooklyn Ents years. And it even started to kind of go on the backswing and look worse. So it's encouraging to see Colleen Corbin really do a good job with this team in her first year. And it's also been good to see a pretty consistent identity. I mean, it's really only been this game and the Baylor game where the defense has had really any holes poked in it. For the most part, K-State has been absolutely suffocating on defense all year. That has been their chief identity, and they've stuck to that all year. And it's that they're suffocating on defense and play high pressure. And it's actually a pretty fun brand of soccer to watch. If you just kind of check the scores, it doesn't really show up that way. But the high pressure defense and physicality that K-State plays, it's a fun brand of soccer.
Yeah. And I'll take fun as well, which, yeah. But the next matchup for K-State was up against UCF, a pretty solid UCF team that were 8-2-1, I believe, going into this match, or 8-1-2. I always forget which one's the tie, because in football, I think it's different. Like American football in the NFL, it's different. It's listed last.
Yeah, and international soccer does it differently too. I think ties go or draws go in the middle, but they put ties at the end. I think for women's soccer.
Okay. So, yeah, they were 8-2-1, 2 losses, only 1 tie, 8 wins, or a 2-1-2. Good Lord. Point being, UCF's good. And a 0-0 draw in Central Florida was the result. And K-State actually did outshoot UCF 18-10, 5 on goal to 3. And, of course, no goals scored. So both goalies were sort of on their game. But another good result against a really solid program who is going to find themselves at least in the Big 12 postseason picture, if not the national postseason picture.
Yeah, this UCF game, I think, is kind of the opposite of the Colorado game. This is something that Colleen Corbin mentioned on her podcast interview with Bosco's Boys, which was an awesome episode that Scott did over there, one of his best interviews. And Colleen Corbin was a great interview as well. But I came away from that really impressed with her. And one thing she said was that this UCF game was the opposite of that Colorado game. And that we came away from the Colorado game to start Big 12 play like over the moon. We were so happy about it because it's a Colorado team that was scoring goals like crazy, and we took them to a 0-0 draw and stuck to our identity and imposed how we wanted to play on them. This UCF game, we imposed how we wanted to play on them, but we actually kind of dominated this match. This was a match that did not feel like, K-State was happy with the draw. This was one where, despite UCF being a really good soccer team, K-State came away thinking they should have won this match on the road against a very good UCF team. UCF is 26 in RPI. At the time, they were top 25 in RPI. And K-State not only fought to a draw in this match, but they truly did kind of dominate this match and imposed their brand of soccer on UCF. They outshot UCF pretty handily, 18-10 with 5 shots on target to 3 for UCF. They had more corner kicks with 9. Fouls were even at 7. This was even the stat in the raw stats, K-State came up ahead. But when you actually watch the game, K-State really should have won this game. This is against a really quality UCF team. So I think things are actually a bit closer to kind of coming together for this squad. And I think a result like this is particularly impressive given that even though they started out well against KU, they ended up losing 4-1, but they're able to bounce back, go on the road against a top 25 RPI team and fight them to a draw. That's a game that it was a game that K-State really felt like they should have won, which there's not many games in the past that you can look at where K-State soccer has kind of come away with a draw and been like, we should have won that. Most of the time it's been like, at least we didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. And I will say that there is a small part of me that always gets angry whenever I hear the words or the letters RPI put in sequence, simply because of the baseball team a few years ago. But it fits our narrative in this particular case, so we will be using it.
Yeah, K-State is 50th in RPI right now, which they've been kind of hanging out in that realm for a while now. But like they're like that's a shockingly good spot to be in, at least historically speaking, for K-State. Like they are ahead of 6 Big 12 teams in the RPI. Which, I mean, right now they're one of 2 Big 12 schools that haven't come away with a win yet in conference play. The other being Oklahoma State, who they play this Friday.
Something's got to give.
Either that or they're going to draw, and then no one gets a win. But the difference being K-State 50th in RPI, Oklahoma State's at 84. So, I mean, this game is down in Stillwater, but the metrics have K-State as being a really impressive squad. I think the only thing that K-State needs to work on at this point is finishing on the offensive end. They're they're obviously a great defensive team, and they're obviously completely bought in on the physicality that's required of them. But I think if they can just start putting more shots in the back of the net, particularly when they're starting to create all these opportunities to do so, if they can just finish, then they're going to start winning games. And I think that we're kind of through this a kind of gauntlet portion of the schedule, where you have Oklahoma State right now, and then you get Cincinnati at home. Cincinnati's 132nd in RPI right now. That should be a game where if you want to like show up and like be present for a K-State performance, like maybe that's one to circle, because on paper that should be a winnable game. Although Cincinnati does have a Big 12 win this year, but this team, I think they're close, and I think that they're a bit ahead of schedule as well, which is encouraging. But some of the things that Colleen Corbin said in that interview with Scott Wildcat over at Bosco's Boys, I think we're kind of telling about some of the things that were holding this team back. Particularly, it seemed a lot of them might have even been a bit self-imposed by the previous staff. I'm reading between the lines a lot here. I want to say I don't think that they were like going out and trashing Mike the Beanie or anything. I don't want to start coaching regime. I don't want to start coaching regime drama here. But Colleen Corbin said one of the things she had to do when she got here was like set the expectation early that they were going to have to like put in more work, like on the field and in the weight room, and like what they eat and like their overall commitment level to the program. Like, I think that's kind of paying dividends right now, like kind of increasing their commitment level and their level of passion for this program. So I don't know. I'm pretty happy where the soccer team is at, even if the record isn't there yet. I think that this team is pretty close to breaking through, and by the end of the year, they might. I don't think they're going to quite make it to Big 12 postseason unless they really go on a tear here. But next year, that could be something to kind of circle on your calendar. Maybe make a trip out to the river in Kansas City, Missouri, and try and catch a K-State women's soccer postseason match, because that would be just the second one ever.
Yeah. And you already mentioned that the next 2 matches are Oklahoma State and Cincinnati. This is the last month of non-postseason soccer. We always say it, but good Lord, this season, because we are 21 days away from the end of soccer season.
Yeah, it really sneaks up. Particularly, I think, because it starts a lot earlier. Every year, I'm always like surprised. I don't know why, because it's every year. But I'm always surprised because it starts earlier. And So it finishes earlier, particularly for us because our season doesn't last as long because we never play in the postseason. So it's done especially early for us. And I imagine they do that because they don't want like the national championship game being played in like a blizzard if they can help it.
That would be funny though.
That would be really funny. And there's definitely like sometimes soccer played in the snow looks a little bit fun to me, kind of like a snow football game. But and that's another thing about that UCF game. It was like pouring rain during that too, so that really lended itself to K-State's play style. And then now I'm just kind of browsing RPI. Baylor is fourth nationally. They beat us 3-0. TCU, who we were so painfully close to getting a draw with them until they scored late. They're sixth. Then West Virginia, who we have coming up here after the Cincinnati game, October 19th. So 9-10 days from when this episode drops, they're fifth. So there's still some challenging teams left on the schedule. But Colorado, who we drew with earlier, they're 24th. So they're actually helping us right now. But this soccer team, we've gone from every year with soccer talking about how hard it is to build a program to all of a sudden we are like on the cusp, I think, of really finally turning the corner. And it just took one off season.
I think it's best that we just leave that alone.
Yeah, I guess if we want to be diplomatic, do something.
But moving on to the Alleycats, the three matches for the Alleycats were all 3-2, 2 in favor of K-State, 1 not in favor of them. First being in favor for K-State going up against West Virginia, who entered this game 12-1 on the year, their only loss being in Big 12 play. K-State walks away victorious 25-21, 25-23, dropped the next two sets 25-22 and then 27-25. And then barely scraped by in that last set, 20-18. So almost got reverse swept, which is one of the more painful things that can happen in any sport, in my opinion. But despite that, I actually am not too upset with the performance in general, not only because it won, but because the number one thing I always look towards is hitting percentages. And K-State was above 300 in 3 of the 5 sets and ended with a 280 hitting percentage, which most of the time you're winning in pretty dominant fashion if that's your hitting percentage. But West Virginia had a very good day of their own as well. But if you're looking for leaders, you already know who the leader in 2 categories is going to be. That's kills with Shaylee Myers and aces with 34 and 5 for Shaylee Myers. And Nia Clinton with 25 kills. And then Ava LeGrand with 59 assists and Simone Sims with 20 digs. So, again, the Shaylee Myers show continues.
Yeah, they really went all out on offense in this match against West Virginia because West Virginia, they hit really, really well, 312 against K-State. And got a lot of blocks in this match. It's clear K-State really missing Brenna Schmidt in the middle, but the Cats were able to do just enough and kind of win in some of the margins. Just 3 service aces for West Virginia, 9 for K-State. They did have 10 errors, but West Virginia, they get 11 of them. So it was just enough for K-State to come away with a win. And West Virginia, coming into this game, was, like I said, 12-1. But this was West Virginia's, this match against K-State, this was their 12th straight loss in Big 12 play. However, the very next match, they snapped that with a win at home in a 5-set thriller over number 19 BYU. So I guess almost beating us was just what the Mountaineers needed to finally stop being bad at volleyball. But that was a back and forth affair. And so they finally got back in the win column in conference play. So they went back all the way to, oh my gosh, where was it? October 23rd of last year had been the last time that they had won a conference match, and that was a 3-1 win at Colorado. So luckily didn't become us. I was very worried there for a bit, but still a solid performance, particularly, of course, from Shaylee Myers. 34 kills on 64 attempts, or just 5 errors. Those 34 kills, that's the K-State single match record right there. For a 5-set match in the rally scoring era. That is the most anyone has ever had. So Shaylee Myers has been on fire, and Anaya Clinton had a really good match as well, 25 kills. So offensively, really impressive stuff from K-State.
And you won't be surprised to know that the next one was more of an offensive showcase for K-State as well. K-State beating Cincinnati 3-2 in Cincinnati, dropping the first set 26-24, then picking up the next two 25-21, then 25-19, dropping set number 4 25-23, and then dominating the last set 15-7. Again, a 255 hitting percentage, but that's really brought down by a really, really poor fourth set. If you take that out, they're averaging well above 300 in their hitting percentage. It was just that fourth set, things really fell apart. So it's a really slight miracle they only lost that set by 2, but then again, neither side hit particularly well in that set. Anaya Clinton led in kills, so very rare, not Shaylee Myers leading there, but Shaylee Myers was right behind her with 24. Anaya Clinton had 25. Anaya Clinton also led in aces. Jordan Williams had 4 blocks. Ava the Grand led in assists and digs with 53 and 18.
Yeah, that fourth set, K-State probably should have come away with the win, but they spotted Cincinnati a whopping 15 points in attacking errors in the fourth set, which is absolutely absurd. Cannot have that whatsoever. Genuinely a bit embarrassing. But when K-State was able to stay out of their own way, though, they played very good. 29 errors on the game, but 79 kills does well for you. Blocks, 12 assisted, only 1 solo coming from Jordan Williams. Again, the defense struggling a bit, particularly Brenna Schmidt out, going to smaller middle blockers, but more athletic. But still, Brenna Schmidt is such a strong defensive presence there in the middle. And it was thought that she would give a go for the Iowa State game, but wasn't able to. Might have been the difference. But this Cincinnati game, nice to come away with 2 road victories. K-State, I think, pretty badly needed those after dropping 2 home matches to the Arizona schools. So they went out and 2 road wins, 2 quality road wins against 2 other schools that kind of get paired together geographically in Cincinnati and West Virginia.
Yeah, I think that's technically a football rivalry as well. I think it's them in like Cincinnati and Louisville are 2 of the like old American rivalries.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Cincinnati and Louisville for sure, obvious reasons. But until we get Pitt and Penn State in the Big 12, that'll be the best we can do for West Virginia rivals. But maybe we can go and poach the Nittany Lions in this next round.
I think it's more likely we steal Pitt, but
now what would make you say that?
The last matchup was unfortunately a loss against the Iowa State Cyclones, who were receiving votes. And this one's a little more painful because K-State pretty thoroughly dominated the first set, 25-16, dropped set 2, 25-22, and then won set 3, 27-25, And then Iowa State pretty handedly took the last two sets, 25-19, then 15-11. And that is despite the fact that for the first time, perhaps in recorded history, okay, that's not true because there have been a few times that Iowa State has been ref balled, even in K-State games. I will admit that. That doesn't mean that I think it's a bad thing. I think it's funny. But the refs really did try to spot K-State a couple of points towards the back end of the match.
Oh, it was more than a couple. To start the fifth set, it was four straight, not just wrong, but bad calls, and all of them favored K-State. There was a couple in particular where you could see the I don't remember the technical names for the officials, but there's the one that stands like kind of in that tower by the net, and the one on the ground that's like parallel with them. And they would be like kind of looking at each other, and they'd like point in the wrong direction and opposite directions, and like switch and be in like the other opposite direction. And I think K-State early in that match as well, they had like 3 successful challenges of their own, and they were all pretty quick reviews. So the officiating crew, particularly the officials in the middle, were not doing well.
They were on a heater.
But the by all-time Angel Hernandez strike zone level here. And it was hilariously bad. And it was particularly funny when it was 4 straight to start that fifth set. I'm really sad that all of them were calls that benefited K-State, and none of them ended up going our way, even though they were just like incorrect calls. And they were all pretty obviously incorrect as well, which is too bad. But it was I was really dismayed by this result because, for one, I really don't like Iowa State anyways, but I feel like we really needed this one for postseason. Like, it's obviously not like an impossible feat, like whatsoever. Without taking that match into account, we were 28th in RPI. We'll drop some after that. But this was a match that I really wish that we could have come away with, because that would have done wonders for our postseason hopes. Because right now, I think the latest bracketology had us as like an 11 seed or something like that, which they don't, like unofficial 11th seed, based on who we were playing in the first round. I think we were playing a 6th seed, but really need Brenna Schmidt back, and we really should have won this match as well. We got out to a fantastic start. We won that first set 25-16, and it wasn't even that close. We were up like 10-2 at one point or something crazy like that. Probably should have been able to find a way on some of those other sets. Set 3 was a lot of fun, but really, really, really disappointing loss, particularly to lose at home the way you did. Kind of let that one slip through our fingers. And really need to regroup, and we're gonna have to go out and beat some teams that are better than us, because there's one thing that we can say on this team. It's that we've pretty consistently beat teams that were pretty obviously better than, but we just haven't quite been able to finish the job and like get some upsets here and there. So we kind of need to turn the tide going forward.
Yeah. And the good news is that there are some decent opportunities to do so, one of which is going to happen the day that this releases. So there'll be 2 sporting events happening the night that this releases, I think both at the same time. Texas Tech Volleycats and then Oklahoma State Soccer Cats. The next Wednesday is Baylor at Baylor, and then TCU on Friday in Fort Worth.
Yeah, after this Friday match, they're going on a 5-game road streak, which is kind of absurd. And I think probably like a major scheduling error. And I'm not sure why we didn't like try and fix that. But after this October 10th Texas Tech match, we're not going to get another home match until November 6th. So we're going almost a full month without a home volleyball match. And like that happens like in football. Sometimes like bye weeks and like having a little road stretch.
Yeah, but you play 1 game a week.
Yeah, That's what I'm saying. Like 5 road games before you get another home game is kind of crazy. And then we're going to be playing some pretty good teams in there too. BYU is a good team. KU is supposed to be good. They're actually below us in the most recent RPI. I imagine that'll change if they've won any matches. Then TCU, they're 16th in RPI, and they're really good. They're another school that we'll have to hope that we can get them down at their place. But we gotta come out with a couple wins from this road trip. Because it's helping us is our strength of schedule, but that can only take you so far if you're not winning matches.
Yeah, unless it's baseball, in which case you end up with the same record, but a slightly stronger. Never mind. Never mind. I do want to, before we go, the last little comment I have is a friend of the show, as in a friend of both of ours personally, left perhaps the funniest comment we've ever received on an Alleycat YouTube video. It basically said something to the effect of K-State should just give up because the 27 super senior Chase Curtis is going to run circles around the linebackers. It's James. Like, predictably, you could guess that is James.
That sounds like a James comment to me. But no, he is totally right. If Chase Curtis does run circles around Desmond Purnell, which is possible given the mobility Des has at this point in his career, this might be like the first game I leave early in years. So,
now, all respect to Chase, I don't think his knees are any better than Dez's.
That is true. They will both go to make a hard cut, and both of their knees will simultaneously just explode. And I'm tired, boss.
Anyway, you have any final notes?
No, nothing else for me.
All right. Well, if that's the case, thank you all for listening to this episode of the Aggieville Alleycats podcast. If you want to follow or contact the show, you can follow us just about anywhere at Aggieville Alleycats. And if you want to email us, we're AggievilleAlleycats@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on a more personal note, I'm at ACEdwards00.
I'm at Connor Baltzor, capital C, capital B.
And if you want to support the show financially, please be sure to check out the official Aggieville Alleycats merch store, link found in our podcast and Twitter bio. But most importantly, thank you all for listening to this episode of the Aggieville Alleycats podcast. For come rain, shine, or anything in between, we're here to deliver to you the Kansas State sporting news you so love. Stay safe, Alleycats.